away.
All right. Well, first of all, man, it's football's back. This is an awesome time of year, and it's really a fun time just to be at Clemson. I mean, just riding around campus. There's so much going on. There's a ton of energy all across all 21 of our sports. But man, men and women's basketball. I think our women's basketball has their last home game this Sunday. I guess our senior day. And man, I'm really proud of Coach Poppy and what he's done in his first year and trying to just establish a foundation. And then obviously our men's basketball has just been freaking awesome to watch. And so that's been great. Baseball and softball going. Obviously we got a big one tonight. Looking forward to being a part of that. And, you know, had a big win in softball the other day. Track, we got indoor track. A lot going on there. Our men and women's tennis. Man, it's been awesome. We've done some things in tennis this year that we hadn't done in a long time. It's been fun to watch that. Golf is up and rolling as well. We had a big win in lacrosse, and excited for what they got going over there. And then gymnastics, same thing with Amy and them, big win the other day. Rowing's getting ready to get going. So, and then here comes spring practice. So there's a lot going on campus and a lot of fun to be a part of it. It's just a fun time of year here at Clemson. As far as our situation, man, we got a lot of work to do. This is just part of our process. These guys have been going for, I guess they've been in training about 7, going on 8 weeks. They've had some really good training. Now it's at that time where we get back on the field and you know, a lot of work to do. 9 months, it's over. I mean, so we got to be very intentional about every single day, every practice, every meeting, every drill, every rep, because it all matters. And again, in 9 months, your regular season's over, and then you get what you earn after that. So excited about it. Goals for me, you know, it's always fun, again, to get back on the field. But the big thing for me, big picture-wise, is always starts with leadership. I think everything rises and falls with leadership. So it always starts there. And then I think chemistry is something. Those are two of the most underrated things in any organization, on any team. It's leadership and chemistry. And then the other thing for me, big picture wise, is team. You know, and this is where you've had a lot going on, kind of in the engine room, if you will, and now we get back on the field and we got a lot of stuff team wise that you start really, you know, it's team meetings, it's practice, it's a lot of stuff now where you start really, you know, building that team aspect of what this Team 130 is going to look like this year. So other goals for us, obviously want to install our offense, our defense, our kicking game. You know, this is a part of your process as well. I mentioned this, I was talking about this the other day to somebody, but I was talking about Sammy Brown in particular. I didn't even notice him last spring. You know, the reason is, you know, he's getting a lot of stuff installed, and it's a lot, right? But he's a new guy getting here. It's a lot to learn, especially at that position. But we got through the spring, and then he got it again in the summer, and then by the time we got to into camp, he's had installation 3 times, and man, you're like, okay, all right, now I see it, right? And so that's a part of this process that we have as we install our offense, our defense, and our kicking game. You know, we got to develop our team. You know, not just the team aspect, but we got a lot of players here. Everybody's here but 3 guys. You know, we got Makai, we got Juju, we got Tucker, who will join us later on this summer, but everybody's here. So we have a tremendous opportunity this spring to develop our football team. And we got a lot of guys that didn't play a lot last year that we're going to be counting on this year in much bigger roles, that we got to get them better. And you don't get better at football if you don't play football. So we got a lot of work to do. And then we've got to all improve. Everybody's got to improve. So again, you know, we got guys that have played a lot of snaps that need to improve. We got guys that haven't played that really have to develop so that they can play. And then we're always trying to improve our football intelligence, you know, from a position standpoint, football intelligence when it comes to understanding not just what you do within our offense, defense, kicking game, but how to do it, and more importantly, why. Like, why? How does it fit? Like, why are we asking you to do it this way? What's the reason for that? And so creating as many guys as you can that really can grow their come out of spring a more intelligent football player. All right, that's a big part of it, and a lot of that's situational growth, situational awareness. Same thing for us as coaches. Spring is a huge time for fundamentals, for technique. This is a huge time to try to create game day habits. You don't show up on game day and create habits. What shows up on game day, the habits that show up on game day are created in practice. So that's a big part of what we do, trying to create the right habits that will lead to what we want on game day. Other thing is I want to have another great semester academically. All right, we had a tremendous semester academically. We posted the highest graduation success rate that's been posted in 20 years in college football, the Power 5 level. All right, it's very important. It's a huge part. It is the number one part of our purpose here. And so I want to have another great semester academically, and then big picture wise, you just got to get everybody all in. And what is that? It's a commitment to be and do your best. That's what it is. It's not about being the best, it's about doing your best, being your best. And then collectively, if you get a bunch of people all into that, hey, great stuff can happen. So that's what it's always about for me as we get back out on the field and rocking and rolling from a personnel standpoint, injury-wise. Guys that will be out, you'll see some guys. I think you guys are going to get a pretty good part of practice today. But you'll see some guys that are in green. Those guys are in practice and working their way back. Some will work their way out of green. Some will be in green all spring, depending on what their situation is. Green, they're really doing everything. They're just not getting any live work. And then you'll see some guys in yellow, and the guys in yellow are long-term guys. Logan Anderson, who's a kid he's really doing well, but he won't get any live work this spring. But he's man, we're super excited about him. But he had an ACL back in the season, and then so he'll be out. Steph Island Green, same thing. He had a sports hernia surgery, so he's doing great and working his way back. So he'll be out as well. Y'all all know about Jay Haynes getting hurt in the championship game. Jaden Lucas, we cleaned his shoulder up. Some of these guys were just postseason things that we knew we were going to have to do all season. So Jay Lou is another one that won't be at Walker Parks. Same thing. We had to do a cleanup on his shoulder. Olson Pat Henry, we had to do some work on him as well. He's doing great as well. So his was a shoulder. Zaire Patterson has broke his foot, so he's working through that and coming back. So he'll be out as well. Ian Reed, y'all pretty well documented on what he's been. He's actually really trended in a good direction, so I'm excited about that. But it's just been a process for him since he got hurt back in the fall. Clay Swinney broke his foot. He just got out of a boot. He won't be able to run around. He'll be able to hold, but he won't be able to run around. He literally just got out of a boot yesterday, but he had a broken bone in his foot. And then Champ Thompson, he's working his way back. He had some cleanup surgery he had to have done. Y'all know about Elijah Thurman with the tightrope. He probably at some point will get back into practice, probably into green. Probably won't get any live work, but he's probably going to be back into practice at some point. And then Ari Watford, another really highly recruited DN guy we're super excited about, that also tore his ACL last year. That'll be back and ready to go. But he's here. They're all those guys. So outside of that, that's what we got. We got a lot of postseason surgery guys again that you'll see. Some in green today that'll work their way out, and some that'll stay in green all throughout spring. And then you got spring's a time where you want to experiment a little bit. Spring's a time where you want to find out on some guys. So one of the guys that we want to find out a little bit is Tink, Myson Kelly. We know what's the best spot for him. So he came in here and we had some goals for him his first year, and we weren't able to really achieve any of them because he was hurt all year. And every time we got a chance to take he was hurt. So he had to have surgery, was out, missed the spring. So we really weren't able to do anything. And then we came into camp and we were like, all right, we need to really learn at receiver. But we've also cross-trained him a little bit in practice at some, when we've had an opportunity at some corner and a little bit of nickel. So he's a guy this spring that'll probably work 3 days defense, 1 day offense, because now he knows the offense. And really, he's one of those guys that the arrow was really up on as the season was coming in. You know, sometimes y'all don't always see what's going on game day because, you know, you're trying to win the game and you got, you know, you're going to play the guys. But we see these guys get better. And Tink was one of those guys that, especially the last probably 4, 5, 6 weeks and into the playoffs, he was really trending well. Like, we really encouraged by what we saw with him as a receiver. So we feel good about where he is there, but we really haven't had a true evaluation of him on the defensive side. So that's something we want to experiment with. And so we come out of spring and we can kind of know, like, all right, what's the best path? He's got 3 years left. What's the best path for this kid? And he might be a guy that works a little both his whole career. I don't know. We'll see. So we got to find out on him. Y'all know about Adam Randall. All right, so we started that process in the playoff game. So where does that go? We're gonna find out. All right, so we got to figure that out. Excited about that. He's really been working hard at that transition. So I think there's it's gonna be a fun spring from that standpoint. A lot of possibilities there. Marcus Dixon is another kid. We're gonna try him out at defensive end. We want to kind of just see what it looks like. I don't have no idea. You know, we're gonna find out. Kind of like I did with Putnam, right? Putnam, his 4th year, I said let's try guard. All right, never played offensive line. Well, he just not Putnam, Shatley. I kind of look at them the same. Putnam made the Raiders last year, by the way, but Shatley just retired. 11 years in the NFL, and if he doesn't make that move his 4th year, he probably never plays a snap in the NFL. All right. And so, you know, that's part of our job is figuring those things out. So I kind of look at Dixon that way. And it's really something he instigated. And we're like, okay, well, let's take a look at it. So we know where he is as a tight end. We feel good about that. But let's see where he is over on the defensive side. So that's a little bit of what we're going to try to get accomplished. And then you got a lot of guys you're cross-training. You know, you look at the offensive line. All right, we got a lot of guys that we want to really cross-train. And guys that we want to teach to snap, or guys that have snapped that just maybe hadn't done it as much here. So there's a lot of that stuff that we try to get done. And then from a staff standpoint, y'all heard here or there about, you know, anytime somebody shows up around here, y'all somehow know about it before I even get them here. But we hired Kevin Kelly. Really excited about Kevin. Kevin's 25 years in the NFL. He's one of the best. I've dealt with him personally for at least the past 14 years and 12, 14 years. And he's one of those guys that he would never leave town without seeing me personally. I think he's one of the best when it comes to evaluating talent, but also the intangibles of a player. I think he's really, really gifted in that. And, you know, it's just kind of cool how it all worked out. So I'm excited about him coming on board. He's here, he's rolling. It's a big time adjustment, life adjustment for him. And obviously, he, you know, I'm trying to get out ahead. I really think we're going to have some type of deregulation coming when it comes to recruiting and who can go out on the road and that type of stuff. At some point, that's coming. And, you know, he'll kind of really head all of that stuff up. But also work alongside Jordan, and, you know, when it comes to some of the, you know, player retention and you know, acquisition, all that stuff. So excited about him. And y'all probably heard about Mike Houston. You know, Mike is, listen, it's nice to have good people at any time, but it's great to have free good people. All right. So, you know, he's got a couple years left on his East Carolina contract, and then Lonnie Galloway has got another year on his contract. So these were two guys that actually reached out to me, and they're both good fits. You know, there's a lot of times I get those calls, and, you know, you only got so many seats in the room, but these were two guys that I've known, that I got a lot of respect for, that are good fits for us. And again, they'll bring a lot of value. So, you know, those guys, we've had that over the years, you know, we've had different guys that have been on, obviously last year when John Scott was here. You know, we've had Ted Roof. We've had guys from time to time, Terry Bowden, that have come through here over the years. And that's been great. But those two guys, y'all will be seeing them around, and be fun to have them be a part of it. So that's just some kind of opening comments of just state of the program stuff. Any questions y'all got?